Hello folks, Pete Lawn here. Today I am going to show you how to build a 12-sided building, and this is actually kind of a cool way of doing it. It was pointed out to me by another YouTuber, Infinity Gaming, that actually you could use the HUD up at the top of the directional HUD up at the top of your screen as a method to control the rotation and placement of vertical beams when you're building these types of buildings. And I thought that's a really great idea. I never really thought about that before, and it's so obvious. So that allows you to control your rotation when placing beams. But the other problem you have is your distance control from the center spot that you're actually placing the beams on. So I found the magic formula, I think, for that, and it's 2 beams high. So we're going to try to do this in this video and see how it works out. So what we're going to do is get on top of this beam, and you might be wondering, how did I jump so high? I am using a jump mod for this to get a little bit higher, and obviously also a no fall damage mod included in that, but just in case you're wondering. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start with our beam placement, and I've got a 4x4 floor placed down below there. We're going to go vertical beam and free place with the home key, and I'm going to try to sort of get semi-centered on top of this beam here. Maybe kind of like this. It doesn't have to be perfect. In fact, you don't need to be perfectly centered using this method. All right, so we're going to start with a beam, and you'll notice I've got the 2x2 floor below, sort of lined up with the grid already. And if you look up at the HUD there, you can see I'm pointing directly south right now while I'm on this line. And so what we're going to do is we're going to pull our mouse down all the way as far as we can, so that it is as close to us as it can be, and then we're going to place a beam like so. And we're going to hit the home key, and we're going to look up at the HUD there and go to the next tick mark in the compass direction, and we're going to place another beam right at that spot. And we're going to continue to do this for every tick mark on our compass HUD, each time making sure that we've pulled the mouse down as close to us as possible. And I'm going to speed this part up so you don't have to wait for me to place all of these, and I'll return after I've done that. All right, so now that we've got basically 24 beams placed down that correspond to the 24 tick marks that we've got in our compass HUD, we're going to start putting the beams out from there straight out. So we can stay standing on top of this, and this method gives you a nice clean wall at the 3rd beam out. So we're going to extend these beams out by 3. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put a support beam out at the end of that 3rd beam for each one of these. So I'm going to speed this up as well so we can skip through the tedious part of placing these beams, and we'll be back in a moment. All right, so we get a nice pattern going all the way around. We can probably put the one vertical beam on the top at the end of each one of these. It seems like we're in distance range here, so we're going to do that for each one of these as well, because it's easier to do that than run around. But we will have to put the final beam that goes down and supports those, because I can't reach them from here. So screwed that one up. I don't know if I can reach that one to delete it. No. Alright, so now we're going to go and run around and put some anchors in all the way down. Get that one. Alright, so now that we got this kind of arrangement here like this, we're going to start placing our floors in. And we're going to use stone floors, and we're going to start with facing south with that one we started with right there. And we're going to place a floor to the left of that at the far end, the third beam. And then we're going to place another one right next to it. Then we're going to skip a beam, and we're going to do the same thing to the next beam here. And skip a beam. Alright, so once we've got that outer ring floor established, we no longer need these all the beams on the basically extending out to the outside edge beams. As well, we can get rid of the vertical beams here as well. So I'm going to go down and start deleting all those and meet back here with you after I get that done. Alright, so now we're left with something that looks like this. So let's have a look at it from the outside. We've got 24 points of support with a 12-sided building. And so we're going to finish the floor off, and then we're going to throw up the walls and have a look at that and see what that looks like. We actually don't need this center support anymore as well, so you could take that down. I'm going to leave it. Oops. I'm going to leave that on for the moment. And I'm going to go over here and finish the floor off. So let's do that right now. So I always try to start with a point of reference. I mean, initially I was on top of that post and I was looking down south. So really kind of this is my reference starting point right here. So I'm going to start with this floor here, and I'm going to go here, here, there, and there, there, and there. And you can't get away with skipping them on the first ring. It looks like you have to put one in for every piece. The next circle in, we can actually, looking down south, go to my reference again. Center beam, south. What we're going to do is we're going to start with this guy and we're going to skip every second one. Not this one, but this one. Not this one, this one. Skip. So we got this. We can get rid of this center beam now as well. And we can close this in as well. And you can just one of those, and like so. So we got that closed in. Let's put up our outside walls. Use windows and stone all the way around. Let's find our reference again, looking south. Let's just start there. It doesn't really matter, I guess, because with this design you should be able to actually close up the entire ceiling without any additional supports if you're using stone. Now you'll have to play around a little bit with some other materials to see how that looks, but if I were to look at the outside of this, let's go into our camera mode, take a boo. This doesn't look too bad, right? It's a little jaggedy. you certainly couldn't get away with putting another ramp above that. I think it would be too jagged, but this is still acceptable. So let's put a flat top on this and see if we can do it without any additional supports. Like I said, you may have to play around with this a little bit to see what you can do. But I'm going to try to close the ceiling in without any additional supports and see what that gets me. Start with the first ring. Kind of mindful of the direction of the underfloor wood supports to try to get it a nice ceiling pattern. Make sure they're all pointing in the same direction. Alright. And so now we can skip the one and do this and this again. So skip this one, bring that one in, skip this one, bring that one in. Skip that one, bring this in, etc. Alright, and then the last but not least, close this up hopefully. Let's do this one. Do every two. Like that. Hey, there you go. And doesn't look too bad, right? And you don't need those additional supports in the middle. Now, if you went another, another floor high, and then with a ramp, and then tried to close that in, you'd probably start seeing stuff break. So that won't really work. And again, it depends on the material you're using, but this is quite doable. You get a nice space to work with. You can put lots of storage cabinets up here and get all your equipment in there, no problem, right? Now let's take a look at the outside. First of all, we'll take a quick boo out here, because the name of this video is a 12-sided building. But I want to point something else out, is that you can actually create a 24-sided building with this design as well. So I took the liberty of building this out another 3 beams out from our 12-sided building, and just test it out to see how the railings versus walls would work. You can get quite an acceptable 3-wide balcony around this building using the railings. They overlap a little bit, but it still looks okay. If you try walls work actually okay. So you could get a 12-sided a 24-sided building, putting out another set of walls there, or you can go an additional floor out and you could try walls, but I found that there was too much of a gap with the additional floor piece going out. You can see here that it doesn't mesh just quite as good. So maybe having railings on the very outside of a 24-sided building would be awesome. So I hope you found this tutorial useful and you can use some of the concepts here in your next building design. Thanks for watching again, folks, and we'll catch up to you later.